Hey, this is Willie Crawford. I'm coming to you from aboard the beautiful Carnival Freedom, which is now cruising between Cozumel, Mexico, en route to Limon, Costa Rica. And I'm actually on my balcony on deck 8. And I don't really care that much for heights, and so for me to be out on my balcony, you can see it's a fairly tiny balcony. There's my cabin door, and the balcony is about 3 feet wide, and I guess I'm on the 8th deck. That would be, each deck's about 10 feet tall, so I'm about 80 feet up from the water, which is not really that high now that I think about it. But anyway, just thought I'd show you the view from here and show you that because I don't care for heights, I force myself actually to spend a lot of time out on the balcony. I force myself to do a lot of things just stepping out of my comfort zone. In fact, when I get to Costa Rica, I'm going to go zip lining. I'm just going to this year, 2012, do a lot of things that the average person wouldn't do. Not things that are, unusually risky per se, but that are just out of their comfort zone. For example, the average person who is into sales, and all of us on the internet who are internet marketers are certainly into sales, and even people who are coaches and mentors are into sales, and people in network marketing, yet they often find it incredibly difficult for them just to pick up that phone. We joke about that 900-pound phone, and yet if you're a network marketer, you need to reach out to people that are your ideal prospects, people who would benefit from your product or service, and tell them about it. And so, successful people, I actually spent the summer of 78, I guess it was, selling books door to door with a company called Southwestern Publishing Company, and they took students from a university and a bunch of other universities across the country, and they trained us to be salespeople, door-to-door salespeople. And one of the first things they taught us, or had us memorize, was a saying that successful people do things that unsuccessful people don't like to do. And the things that unsuccessful people don't like to do are actually probably some of the same things that successful people don't like to do. For example, to knock on a door when you know that there's a possibility of you being rejected or yelled at, and yet you forced yourself to do that anyway and get in the habit actually of liking it. And now I've discovered the secret actually is to actually love your customers. See, if you really know that your product's going to benefit your customers, and you really care about your customers, you only want the best of them. You want your customers to have a better life, and you think of them much as a parent does his or her children. And so, you really want them to have something that's going to make their lives better. That's the way I approach sales now, because I only sell things I really believe in. And so, as I go through this process of stepping out of my comfort zone, I am discovering that my life personally is being transformed, and I'm sort of bringing you along with me on this journey because I want your life to be transformed too. I'm very frustrated with watching some friends I have and have known online for 10, 12 years who are still struggling just to make a few dollars, and certainly a lot more who I've known for 5 to just a couple years, struggling just to make a few sales, and they know what they need to do, they just won't do it. So part of my journey is stepping outside of my comfort zone, and I'm actually going to invite you to shift your comfort zone. I'm going to invite you to do things that make sense, but you have to actually sort of develop an understanding that, of where your place in the universe is, of why it's okay to do certain things that are outside of your comfort zone, and why actually the rules that we live by are rules just really arbitrarily defined by societies, by governments, by educational institutions, by religious institutions, by organizations worldwide that just say, this is what you should do and this is why you should behave that way. And when you really step back and look at some of those rules and even why they're in place. Often they're in place just to control you. Then you give yourself permission to do things, bolder things, and I want to sort of embolden you. So I'm going to invite you to actually go through some training. It's a free webinar that's going to be about an hour and a half maybe, and on this free webinar you're going to be stretched out of your comfort zone. So I'm going to warn you, this webinar will challenge your belief system. Well, actually what it'll do is it'll challenge your blindly complying with institutions like governments and educational institutions and even some religious organizations, because it's going to challenge your beliefs and stretch you and make you ask, why do I behave the way I do? Who am I really? How do I accomplish more in life? What's my real purpose? Why are we here? Am I doing what I'm meant to do? Am I happy? Why am I not happy? Do I have a quality life with my family? Do I enjoy my work? Am I just waiting? Am I mad that I wake up every day because I hate life that much? And there are people who live like that. If that's you, it doesn't have to be that way. I wake up and I'm on the deck of a beautiful cruise ship and I'm looking out at the Atlantic Ocean and envisioning being in Costa Rica, checking out the rainforest and ancient Mayan ruins and things like that, and zip lining off the side of a mountain and hanging out with friends, or just enjoying life. I'm a regular person who grew up on a farm, a tobacco farm, raising pigs and rabbits and tobacco and corn and soybeans, and barely able to have a decent set of clothing. Had one pair of shoes most of the year actually, and now I cruise the world. I travel the world and I work from anywhere I choose to. So it's not a dream life. It's a matter of assuming responsibility for your life and deciding, I want life to be different. And I think that going through the webinar that I'm linking to directly beneath this video will start that transition for you by giving you permission to make your life all that it can be. So check out that webinar and see if it doesn't make sense to you, and if it does, adopt some of what it teaches. It's not meant to change you. It's meant to let you give yourself permission to get out of your own way. And actually it is meant to transform your thinking. It's meant to let you give yourself permission to be happy and to enjoy life without feeling guilty, and to realize that by you having more, you're not taken away from anyone. Me out on this cruise ship is not harming anyone. I help people. I help lots of people. But, me going without food or me sitting at home miserable isn't helping anyone. Me getting out and creating inspirational videos and meeting people and creating more in the world as far as assets and resources and training, that's benefiting more people than me sitting at home stressing over all the problems in this world. And so this training I'm recommending that you tune into, this free webinar, will radically, in just a mere hour and a half or whatever, transform your thinking. It has to. It can't help but transform your thinking. So go ahead and tune into the webinar, and then feel free to share with me your thoughts on it, or you'll be thanking me anyway. But anyway, this is Willie Crawford, and I'm out of here.